I think that it is naturally a hard territory for women to navigate. I think, like, obviously the music industry is so male dominated. So through the years of just like trying to excel my career forward, meeting men and literally it just not being the type of meeting that you want it to be.
Welcome to Detox with Dina and Friends. I'm your host, Dina Theodora, singer, songwriter, and actor. My aim for this podcast is to empower, motivate, and inspire you. Thank you to Vasanti Cosmetics for sponsoring this episode. Head over to vasanticosmetics.ca for luxury, high-performance cosmetics and skincare. Make sure to use promo code DINA10 for 10% off all online products. Well, I want to welcome the amazing Miss Dani Doucette, singer, songwriter, and I can't wait for you to introduce yourself because I see so many amazing things that you're doing, all this fun and action, painting, music. You tell our listeners and viewers a little bit about Dani Doucette.
Yeah, well, not originally from Toronto, but I live in Toronto. I've been really pursuing my passions in music and songwriting and performing over the last couple of years, but over the last year it's just been really like hitting and things have been growing at a pretty fast rate, so it's been great. And yeah, I released a new song on Friday, so there's a lot going on right now, which is really fun. Yeah.
And so can you tell me how the music all started?
Yeah, I think it was just bred into me because my father, he is a musician. He was a touring musician when he was younger.
Wow.
And my dad has 12 siblings, and he's a twin.
Whoa!
And all 12 siblings, there's actually a little, like, we have a medallion, like, plaque at our home with my grandmother in the middle, who has an interest, which is very interesting because she was one of the first women on the radio. Wow. And then around it, every single kid, 12 of them, are holding an instrument. Aww. So it's pretty neat. I'm like, I think it was almost like destined to happen.
I love that. So he started it, and then the music was always in you from a young age. That's beautiful. So tell me about the kind of music that you do and what inspired it.
Right now, it definitely falls in the pop category, pop R&B, I guess you can say. The cool thing is that through this pandemic, it's been a bit of a silver lining because I think it allowed a lot of artists to not only just think locally, but think globally in the connections that you can make and the people that you can reach out to, and collab with, which has been great. So through this, it's just been great being able to, I worked with some people in Holland and, so
that's
I don't know.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And so the power of social media, right?
That too, and just there's the power of hey, we can do so much through our computers, right?
Which, there you go.
Personally, I'm so not not very techy for like somebody that's like does all this stuff. But I've been able to work a Zoom, so that was like good.
It's amazing. See, you can get out and you can get really to know people from everywhere. Would you say that you went through a lot of challenges that you had to overcome, and if you did, what was it that you went through and how did you overcome them within the industry?
Yeah, I think that it is naturally a hard territory for women to navigate. I think, like, obviously the music industry is so male dominated. I'm sure you've probably experienced it as well. So through the years of just like trying to excel my career forward, meeting men and literally just not being the type of meeting that you want it to be. I've had a lot of times where I've been promised the world, but then there's always strings attached. And it's just like one of those really tough things. And it's funny, the first single I put out, Go, was literally after a meeting I left with somebody that is very notable in the artist
What
community.
year was that?
This was last year. So I released this song after I have a lot of stuff out, but my new projects.
Oh, okay.
And it was literally I left this meeting feeling like, what an asshole! Like, how dare you position yourself in that way around me? And I'm like, am I putting off this vulnerable
What was the sort of thing you felt that he?
It was just the way that he kind of even the way that he stood in front of me, or I was sitting and it was just this weird thing, and he kind of belittled me and made it about me being cute and not about my music. And I'm this, I'm here about this. I'm not here whatever you feeling about me, whatever.
And this was here in Toronto?
It was in Toronto, yeah. So that was not an eye opener, but it definitely there are certain things that I've learned in the last little while. Number one is like how you talk, how you position yourself to people. When I went into my meeting with the management group I'm with, I was just like, you know what? And I'm sure you felt this too, like being a woman that's so driven and you are able to do so much on your own. It's like, in order for me to want to do anything with anybody, I need you to prove to me that you are capable of doing better than I am.
Right.
Or else why do I need somebody else
Exactly.
to add to this? So once I really like changed the dialogue and for myself, that's when things really started to like work. And I'm like, I don't need anybody else to help me. I can do it on my own. But the right pair of people in your corner is always like an amazing thing, you know?
I find it interesting that you said that because, you know, within this industry, I mean, for myself as well, you know, in the music and entertainment, there's so many things, especially as a woman. I agree with you that it's just knowing how to get beyond that and see beyond the fluff of people saying things that are just saying them and they're not really, their intentions are not real, let's say, and to read through that and to know what it is and what it isn't. And I like that you were able to read through that. And it could be tricky because like
Definitely.
the same thing, people promising you the world.
And when you're also have like a dream that you're trying to pursue, anybody's like, you know, anybody that's looking at you are like, oh, thank you for just like, you know, liking what I'm doing. It's like, it gets to that, you know,
Exactly.
a feeling, you know, and it's like, yeah, it's an interesting thing.
I like that you really had to separate the difference of knowing, you know, what's real and what isn't. So in terms of, as you mentioned, the male-dominatedness about the industry, what would you say is women empowerment? How would you implement that within your work, and what do you want to see more of within the industry?
Well, I'm actually changing it myself because right now actually on Thursday, my management is interviewing for 2 intern positions. And I've said to my management, I'm like, I only want you to hire women. So that's been really cool. I'm actually, they're interviewing 5 women for the 2 positions on Thursday. And I'm like, all right, awesome. Because I love my manager. I've never met a man that respects women, and he's just an amazing person. I'm very grateful to have met him. And then my newest co-assistant, Tim, I'm like, hey, you're supposed to be a woman. And it's cute because he has long hair. So I'm like, you know, it works.
It works.
And then after that, they're like, no, Dani, okay, Dani, you'll make sure that it's women from here on out. And I'm good. So I think just like making sure that women get the same opportunities coming into the music industry because, I don't know, it's a big boys club. And I think it takes women to stand up for women.
Yes.
And to just like root for women.
That's beautiful. I love that you're doing an all-woman team. That's
beautiful.
beautiful.
That's what I'm working on.
Well, let's divert here a little bit on relationships and advice with Dani Doucette.
Sure.
Here's a chance to kind of delve in and let our audience and viewers know what your opinion is on a healthy relationship.
Well, I personally never thought of myself as a monogamist. I never thought of myself as somebody that would ever get married. I'm definitely a wild child. Like, I'm a nudist at heart. I am like so connected to personally the earth and life, and I don't know.
I love it.
So that's just like who I am. I'm very much everything that you see is who it is. So I never really thought about like, I've always been in long relationships, however, not in like very like, you know, I haven't been, the relationships that I was in, I was just kind of always playing the field, I guess you could say.
Oh, yes.
Until I met my partner, and we met 11 years ago.
Oh.
We met at TIFF on the red carpet. He was my bodyguard, you can say. And and it was funny, the night that we met, he actually said to me, he goes, I'm gonna marry you. After we talked about like, you know, screw monogamy, screw whatever, at the end of the night, it was really crazy. And it actually wrote it up in Global News about like how we met. And we've been together for 11 years. And
wow.
So the best thing about him, and I don't share a lot about our personal relationship, is because we're very much opposites.
That's it. So would you say a healthy relationship having a good opposite to you?
I think, you know, having somebody that really supports you and wants you only to do better in your life is amazing. But also I think it's really important to like allow each other to like live your own lives. Because I think that anytime, like if I was to ever feel smothered or like that wasn't the case, I would have been gone like this. And I did lay down the ground rules at the beginning. I'm like, I'm like a solo bird, like, you know, I love you and I'll always, like, you know, respect you as long as, like, you give me my space.
That is so important, to lay the ground rules from the get-go, right? So I love that. Any red flags that you would recommend to stay away from?
You know what? I dated like this guy, and he was fairly like famous for a while, and anyone that's narcissistic or gaslighting, it's anybody that just wants to put you under their thumb, like, just run. I don't know. I'm sure like you've dealt with that type of person.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not it's horrible because you feel belittled.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's the worst.
You want to have someone bring out the best in you.
Of course. One life to live.
I know, right?
One life to live. None of you run just positivity.
Oh, I love that. And I sense such an exuberantness about you. I love that. Thank you. Back to Dani and her current works. Any current projects in the near future or now that you want to talk about?
Yeah, right now, so on Friday, I just released a song, DITW. It's called Dead in the Water.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it's been a lot of fun. I have found a lot of success in the Philippines. So this is really interesting.
Okay.
I say that I'm not very techie at all, and it's so true, but I've actually aligned with a game called Avakin. So Avakin is like this online, like, Sims kind of world. Anybody in Avakin hates when you say that it's like Sims, but which I've realized, but it's like this like dream world, and you have an avatar. So they actually designed an avatar for me, and over the last 5 days, I've been performing in this virtual game. And it's been so crazy. Like the fans are amazing there. It's been really fun. And
so it's almost like a virtual party scene.
Yeah, it's a virtual concert.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really neat. So that's been really cool, and it's been doing really well. So the song's actually gone like viral in the Philippines and in Indonesia. Wow. So that's been cool. So that's been the weekend, and like literally for me, because like I don't know. It's been, I think that you probably understand this, but like when you've worked so hard towards something, you want to make sure that you're thanking everybody like all the time because you mean it. And for me, like I'm up to like 3 a.m. being like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm like, I like my eyes are like,
so many
framed, yeah, like fried, but that's been fun. And then with coinciding with that, I've got a music video coming out in 2 weeks that I'm very excited about. So
wow, yeah. And this is all with the new release.
Yeah, all with the new release.
This is so exciting.
Yeah, it is
good.
Cool.
Good for you.
Thanks.
And any advice for women getting involved within the industry?
I think going in just knowing that going in, not asking for help, but proving what you're capable of. I think that's really important. People aren't looking for a project. People are looking for someone that is going to like bring something to the table already. And it's not about your voice, it's not about your look, it's about your ability to connect. I think that's the most important thing too, is, you know, just be you. And the best thing about everyone in the world is that there's only one of us, and right, we can accomplish anything we put our minds to.
I love that. Law of attraction, girl. Anything you have in terms of that you're taking part in organizations or charities?
In the past, I've actually donated 2 songs to Saving Elephants.
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, so you can still find those songs on iTunes, and people can still purchase that. 100% of the donations go to Saving Thai Elephants. And then right now, I'm actually going to be taking part in a march, and it's for mothers and family members that have lost people to drug overdose and mental illness. So my cousin Tasha actually just passed away from fentanyl overdose, but it was primarily because she was schizophrenic, and people didn't know how to diagnose her properly. So
rest in peace.
Yeah, so just mental awareness. It's illness is just something that's plaguing everyone right now.
Got to raise awareness to reach out to people when they're really hurting, and just and to find ways around things that are undiagnosed.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, also trying to understand people. I think this day and age, even worse with all of the things that we can communicate on. It can feel very passive or not very like personal. And I think just, you know, allowing people to also have that chance to like, you know, connect in a real way is so important.
Wow. I love that. So in closing, darling,
yes.
What would you say has been the hardest and greatest thing that has come during your journey?
Good question. Definitely nothing has come without challenge, that's for sure.
Always.
But as much as there's been so many challenge, I literally look at all of them. I'm definitely a glass half full type of person.
I love that.
And yeah, yeah. I'm like, I'm like, I'm alive, I'm breathing, I'm privileged to be, living in the life that I am. And as much as I could talk about a million challenges, I actually like to never hold on to luggage. I like to let it go. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's it.
What if you can go back? Would you change anything or?
No, I think we all think about things and we're like, oh, I wish I had done that better. Yeah. But then you probably wouldn't have learned the lessons that you should have from it.
I love that. And now, where can people find you?
Yeah, easy way to find me is DaniDoucetteMusic.com. All of my social links are there. And all the streaming services, you know how that is. YouTube is free for anyone to subscribe. It's free, and you can find all of my stuff there as well. So
there you have it, Dani Doucette with us today. Thank you so much, my love, for joining. I'm so happy that we had this finally. May you be blessed in every way.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Thank you to Vasanti Cosmetics for sponsoring this episode. Head over to vasanticosmetics.ca for luxury, high-performance cosmetics and skincare. Make sure to use promo code DINA10 for 10% off all online products. Thanks again for joining in. Make sure to subscribe, like, share, and comment below. Make sure to also find us on Instagram @DetoxWithDina and my personal page @DinaTheodora. Stay tuned and catch you next time.